thumbs up, y'all. Get these lights up. I may drop the link if you guys want to come up and touch on us. I'll probably drop the link at the end because I ain't got a lot to say, but I definitely got some. Yes. You guys know it's my birthday month. My birthday was on November the 15th. You guys wish me so much wellness, so much great D-Day energy. You guys sent in, donations galore to PayPal and to Cash App. If you guys still want to celebrate the king, baby, okay? As a late birthday wish and love, all information is in the description box. It's also in this ticker that's scrolling right here, the scroll here. And my moderators also typically rotate all links and handles throughout the chat, all right? So you guys can surely donate to Cash App, $Consciouztv, spelled just how it is here on the platform, and or paypal.me/Consciouztv, spelled just like it is here on the platform. And thank you guys so much in advance. We just got finished talking about TD Jakes. So if you guys haven't had an opportunity to check out that live, make sure that you guys, when you're done here, of course that is, switch over and go back a little bit and get into breaking news on Miss TD Jakes. All right. Now, you guys already know what we're here to talk about. Before we get into it, go ahead and thumbs up the video until it's absolutely stuck. That's what I thumbed up the video. Not only helps the YouTube algorithm, but more importantly, it brings up YouTube notifications. Video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. What's up? Shout out to all the new subbies. We're at 50.7 on our way to 50.8, 51, 55, 60, 66, 70, 81 billion. All right. Couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you guys so much. And once again, please thumbs up whether you are part of the replay gang, or whether you are actively in these streets with me right now in real time, or rather you are a bush baby. All thumbs up matters here on this platform. Last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're live, and we're certainly in color. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, what's going on, Conscious crew? Welcome to another riveting episode. Now, let me speak to you guys While I only got 120 y'all here, honey, before the stream grows. Hey, Sherry, what's going on? Kiwana, hey, Rumors NT. What's going on, Sin? Hey, Midnight Block. What's going on, Lady Butterfly? What's going on? Is it Kalisika? Kalisika, hey, boo. What's going on, Shayla? What's going on, Gabriella? What's going on, Kiwana? Hey, Gigi. Hey, Teresa. What's going on, Josh? Hey, boo. What's going on, Star? Hey, Dreaming Edmund. On time, and so am I for once. What's going on, Tam Tam? What's going on, Ariel? What's going on, Natural Honey? Hey, Keeny. What's going on, Loving the Natural Me, period. Hey, Intersex. What's going on, Kita? Hey, y'all. What's going on, Queen of Detroit? Hey, Denitria. What's going on, They Love MJ? Hey, boo. What's going on, Lazia? Hey, Queen B More. Hey, baby mother. What's going on, Charity the Gift? Hey, Melissa. Hey, y'all. What's going on, Mr. Cal? Hey, Dark Skins. No shade for that man to call Khaled ugly. Dragged it. He had no right. He was just mad that Khaled ain't put him on period. What's going on, Deanna? What's going on, y'all? Hey, Ashley. Hey, Homebody. Hey, everybody. All right. Hey, Daniel. Hey, y'all. It's somebody out in the building. All right. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. I don't want to keep you guys long. I will drop the link in case you guys want to hop on this. It's a lot going on, girl. I don't know if you guys heard, and you probably have by now, that R&B singer Khaled, okay? I really like his music. That song with him and, what's my girl? Hold on. Khaled. One of my favorite joints, honey. Song slays, video slays. Normani. Tell me where your love lies. That's my shit, baby. Whenever I'm about to put it on one of y'all's men's, that's the song that I'm listening to when I'm putting on my lingerie, when I'm putting on my sexy jock straps, when I'm putting nasty thong between this old juicy fat ass, child. Okay, I got on my love lies because, baby, love be lying. It be lying, child. Well, I'm about to say DJ Khaled, girl. Singer Khaled has found himself forced out of the closet as a result of his disgruntled ex-boyfriend deciding to expose their relationship via Twitter. All right, here is what all took place the day before yesterday. All right, ex and disgruntled lover Hugo D.L. Monte said on Twitter, I was dating this dumbass singer. He's ugly as fuck, but he tried to set me up and lie and say that I broke into his house because I broke up with him. Like, why would I go to your house and do all that if I broke up with you, dumbass? All right, that was on the 23rd, just yesterday. He also posted a selfie of him and Khaled, okay? Khaled looking like he's in real dainty, honey, looking like he's in his soft bottom era. And he also captioned the selfie as Ninja lied and said that I broke into his house because I did not want him. All right. So Hugo D.L. Monte, the alleged ex-lover of singer Khaled, is in an online theory because Khaled allegedly accused him of breaking into his home, etc. Therefore, he came to the internet to tell us all that Khaled is ugly and he is, in fact, LGBTQIA. Now, for those of you who never heard of Hugo D.L. Monte, all right, courtesy of his Twitter page, this is Mr. El Monte, child. Okay, now I got something else I need to pull up, so y'all just gaze and slobber and masturbate to that real quick. I need to find something here. Oh, don't tell me I deleted it. Hold on. Okay, nope, I got it. Period. All right, now this is also, hold on, let's take a little scroll here, child, to see what Khaled's type is, child. Let me not scroll too much, girl, because y'all know how these OF Twitter accounts be set up, child. You just never know what the hell gonna pop out of a nigga drawers, okay? I think that's enough right there. So, singer Khaled addresses being outed, courtesy of the Shade Room. Khaled addresses his sexuality after past partner puts him on blast. Khaled decided to put some social media users in check as he set the record straight about his sexuality on Friday, November 22nd. The talk singer hopped on X, formerly known as Twitter, to give his fans a personal update after a former partner decided to put him on blast online. Khaled shut down the rumors and drama with a post on X dropping a rainbow emoji with 3 exclamation points and adding, "There y'all go. Next topic, please, LOL." The songwriter then followed up with another post saying that I got outed and the world still continues to turn. Let's get this straight, LMAO. I'm not ashamed of my sexuality. In reality, it's just nobody's damn business. But I am okay with me. Heart emoji. Love y'all. Khaled's post on X seemed to appear after a man by the name of Hugo DL Monte started throwing shade at the singer on Friday night. You guys already know what he said. Hugo then dropped a selfie with Khaled, making it clear to fans and social media that Khaled was the singer he was subbing. Quote, "Bitch ass lied and said that I broke into his house because I didn't want him," he wrote alongside the photo. After Hugo DL Monte spilled the tea about his past with Khaled, X users went wild, which led the location musician to respond. When a user wrote, "Wait, hope Mr. Khaled isn't gay," he replied, quote, "I am, and that's okay," on period. Another user chimed in on the conversation with, quote, "The closet was glass, baby, but we accept you. It's not about who you love, it's about your artistry," Khaled responded back with, "I wasn't hiding anything, it's just not your motherfucking business." Okay, now let's just put a pause in it right there. Okay, when that user says, "Baby, the closet was made out of glass," girl. When that user says that the closet was made out of glass, there was nothing to come out of, baby. Okay, hold on real quick. Let me see something here. Let me get something together here. I just had what I had. This is what I need. Okay. Speaking of the glass, girl. You know, I never really followed his career. I've seen a few of his songs, listened to a few of his musics and things. But, girl, they're not lying. They're not lying, child. Khaled been resting in his femininity, child. What y'all think? The closet door already clean with Windex, girl? Was he just cleaning the closet, girl? Or was he actually in it, child? What y'all think? Closet made out of glass? Or were y'all convinced, baby? He told y'all that his love lies, baby. He told y'all that his love lies, girl. Okay, he been resting in his femininity. Okay, girl, he been in dainty energy, child. Ooh, child, giving all type of gay pride 2024. Anyway, the article goes on. folks in the Shade Room comment section had plenty to say about Khaled's update. Some dragged Hugo for airing him out, while others felt that Khaled should have been able to share his truth on his own time. One Instagram user wrote, "I hate that he was forced to do this. Got nothing but much love and respect for him." Another user wrote, "We knew, baby, your sexuality doesn't matter. We love your music." Another user wrote, "I wish he would have got to come out on his own." Another user wrote, "I don't know. I feel like Khaled needs to run him a fade now." Another user wrote, "I always thought he was hiding in the closet. Dude is wrong for exposing him, though." Another user wrote, "Leave this legend alone, please, and thank you." Another user wrote, "Khaled didn't deserve this. He's so peaceful and minds his everlasting business." Okay, so lots of support for him. This is definitely giving me, Lil Nas X coming out. It feels very similar, except Lil Nas X confession was by will and Khaled's is by force. Now, this is Mr. Hugo D. El Monte, baby, okay, who called Khaled ugly and accused him of breaking into his home upon him breaking up with him to deflect. Now, Khaled likes some girl, light bright, curly haired, in shape, shy, puckered lips. I said, girl, Khaled would have been better off just go ahead and getting Drake, because this here is the T-Move version of Drake, child. But apparently, this is not Mr. El Monte's first spin around the block when it comes to making a disaster out of a relationship, because courtesy of Twitter, apparently Mr. El Monte did this to another content creator by the name of Denzel Dion. Okay, now I checked out Denzel Dion. He's like just a YouTube personality, I guess. You know, I don't know what the hell his content is about. However, there were videos up of him, Mr. Denzel Dion, and Mr. El Monte, okay, talking about their relationship, talking about breaking up, etc. They seem to have went on and been good friends at some point after their romance, but apparently it was a utter disaster. Now, Mr. El Monte is overseas, girl. Look like he done left the damn country after he done exposed this damn American pop star child over there selling cat in them Barcelona streets, allegedly. Mr. El Monte is also an alleged musician. He's an OF model, you know, all of those things. Now, here's the thing, because there's a lot going on. I don't even know who I want to start with first. I guess let's go ahead and start with Mr. El Monte. I'm just really confused about what the correlation is. I'm unclear about the correlation between Khaled allegedly accusing him of breaking into his home, which is a drama we knew nothing about, baby. That was something going on between them privately, and exposing this man's whole sexuality to the public. What the hell is the correlation, sir? Right, what was the reason? What was the purpose? Exactly, because it ain't making sense to me nor my homegirls. Okay? Now, given that he looks like the Sheen version of Drake, girl, I believe the allegations, baby. This bitch looked like he hit the VCR, the DVD player, the motherfucking stove, the steering wheel, all in his motherfucking curly hair wig, girl. And since he out here playing these type of salacious ass games, if you ain't got enough integrity to respect and dignify your personal relationships by dealing with the adversity behind doors, what is to lead us to believe that you have enough integrity, though, to not be stealing out of a damn ninja's house. Okay? Now, I don't believe that the R&B singer Khaled would have been that pressed that they broke up, considering that Khaled is rich enough, baby, to buy any good-looking escort that he needs to, baby. Okay? He can put any one of these damn escorts, any one of these damn glorified-ass prostitutes on payroll, baby, and have him a live-in boyfriend on salary, honey. Mr. El Monte is just one of many. I find that not only outing this man, which is completely unrelated to their drama, to not only be socially violent, because it's obviously clear that he did this for two reasons. He exposed them because he wanted Khaled to get pushback. He was relying on a right-wing homophobic society to witch hunt against Khaled as a result of his sexual identity. Well, that seemed to have felt epically on El Monte's part. But I believe El Monte did this for another reason. Yes, the Sheen version of Drake. This man is so egotistical and narcissistic in nature that he refused to have walked away from this relationship without letting us know that he could snag a celebrity. This was all ego. This man was not going to walk away without letting us know, baby, that his milkshake brings all of the pop star niggas to the yard. It would have been too much of an ego blow to have been broken up with and thrown away to the gutters of Barcelona all by himself in silence. Oh, no, baby. He needed a reason, even if it didn't make no damn sense, to out the relationship. And then called the man ugly, as if that's an insult to Khaled. That ugly had you put your dick in his mouth. That ugly had that dick all up in that pussy, or whichever way the role playing was going, baby. That ugly got you hot pressed, baby, like a flat iron out in this bitch. You the one disgruntled. You the one on Twitter mad as hell. You the one spazzing, baby. Okay, so baby, if this is every bit of what ugly gives, if this is what it means, baby, Khaled won, girl. Khaled won. You did him a favor, so now he ain't got to carry the weight of no secrecies in his life. And on top of that, you the one who's big damn mad. But Khaled, I'm going to need you to start running the Carfax report on these ninjas, baby. I'm honestly kind of sick of the exposed culture. It's real tired. It's real through. I'm real over people just running to the internet to expose practically what's unnecessary. If your ass ain't committing no crimes, I really don't give a damn. Okay? Unless you about to run to us about some real tea, about some diabolical tea, about some illegal tea, I don't personally care. It's weak. But speaking of weak, we got to tug on Khaled's neck a little bit too. Khaled, pull up real close the door. Let me have a one-on-one with you. It's hard to feel sorry for you, right? Because it's clear that your preference for light-skinned exoticals, girl, you know, it's gotten the best of you like it has every other Kardashian, baby. Okay? I don't know why you prefer to live out your childhood trauma and at your big old age, with your big old dollars, at your big old tax bracket, decided to be with men who found you ugly when you were broke. Okay? Hear me. To all my high-valued women and men who now got success and have become a point of attraction as a resource. If they didn't love your ass when you was broke, if they didn't love your ass before the success, if they were out of your league in your previous impoverished life, they out of your league now. These niggas don't love y'all. That means that any nigga who you all of a sudden become the type of, now that you rich as hell, now that you successful as hell, now that you bleaky as hell, is a man or a woman that's only in your life for the sake of what you have. And you know this to be factual because you could not snag these niggas when you were broke and could barely afford a lineup. Okay? So don't be falling in love with these individuals who all of a sudden become available to you in the aftermath of your new surgery or in the aftermath of your new coin, of your new success, of your new popularity, and deal with them accordingly. That's only paid for puss and paid for pain. That's only live in pain and live in puss. And I wish that Khaled, somebody would have told him, because maybe if he understood that the nigga he wanted to be able to fuck on and suck on wasn't really here for him, he would have maybe had him sign some NDAs. He would have possibly not taken any footage and videos and selfies and pictures, etc., girl, because he knew that he was fucking on and sucking on an opportunist. Okay? We got to not get lost in our own sauce. Secondly, I want to say this to the Khaleds of the world. Find y'all somebody who love y'all. Love becomes more important as you climb the scale of wealth, as you climb the scale of popularity, as you climb the scale of visibility, as you climb the scale of etc. Find you somebody who love you. Stick to the rivers and the streams and the waterfalls that you used to. Don't go feeling yourself and dating all these good-looking ass demons and bitches, baby. Because they'll fuck around and bring your whole kingdom down. Okay, be with you somebody who humbled. Why you want the Temu version of Drake, baby? And now you've been out here to be forced out of the closet on somebody else's terms. Now this man able to run down there to unwind with Cardi B's money, baby, and spend all type of tall tales because you missed all the telltale signs. And you didn't protect yourself enough by being humbled enough to know that any nigga who loving you now, who was swiping right on you before you were successful, baby, swiping right on you when you was on Plenty of Fish back in your college days, don't want nothing from you but the clout, baby. Look, these are all opportunities for learning, baby. These are learning opportunities for everybody who on the up and up, baby. If you was ugly to these niggas and these women before, you're still ugly to their ass now, baby. The only difference is you a lick now. You a lick. Okay? And you got to know that in your heart. I don't care how many cute ass dinners y'all on at Red Lobster. I don't care how much this motherfucker is love bombing your ass at night doing pillow talk. You know this nigga wouldn't have fuck with you when you was fat and fluffy. You know he wouldn't have fuck with you when you was living in the projects in a 1-bedroom apartment with your mama eating oodles and noodles. These niggas thought they were better than you, baby. You wouldn't end up within a 2-mile radius of these men. So don't give them none of that. Stick to the average at best motherfuckers that genuinely see it for you. And you will avoid a lot of heartache. And this happens, baby. This happens to all average looking people who get wealthy. It happens to all unattractive people, baby, who become very resourceful. Don't lose y'all motherfucking mind, baby. Thinking that y'all cute and pretty too, baby, to these motherfucking ninjas. The only thing cute to them about you is what's in your pocket, baby, and how many goddamn followers you got on social media, baby, who you can get them in the room of. Okay, this is why it pays to maintain a humble mentality. No matter how rich you is, no matter how good looking or ungood looking you is, baby, because humility keeps you in reality, and being in reality gives you a great deal of common sense to navigate your humanity with. So I hope that Khaled has learned his lesson that for 2, don't make a boyfriend out of a hoe. Whenever you need to fuck up and suck up on something sexy, baby, just get you either a fine motherfucker who got something to lose just like you in the industry, because we know that the industry is filled with 80% down low men, baby. Or there are particular escort sites reserved for wealthy men who want discretion and want quality in the busting of their nut, baby. Utilize those services, Khaled. But don't go turning these goddamn hoes into no house husbands. This goes for the heterosexual community too. Okay, expound, baby. What does Jody? What goes for the heterosexual? Right. Y'all heard what T.S. Madison said? T.S. Madison pulled up and did an interview with me about what? A week ago. And said, baby, she got everybody on NDAs. Lovers, sex partners. It's business. Because when you become business, everything is business. You got a lot to lose. I hate that nobody told them. Nobody told them, child. I'm going to drop the link, let y'all come up here, girl, if it's anything y'all want to say, child. But I'm sick of it, child. You know, can't you just fall out privately? You know, as a public figure, it's just really a shame how living in this day and age of social media where everybody want to be somebody, everybody want to be a celebrity, baby. If you become a public figure in any regard, whether you're a mayor, a politician, a pastor, a pop star, whomever, a CEO, whatever the fuck it is that makes you popular as hell, it's just a shame that, for one, you will never have a regular argument, a regular falling out ever in your life. Anybody who you fall out with, anybody who becomes disgruntled with you for whatever reason, the first thing that they're going to do is run their ass to social media, baby, to either lie or tell the whole goddamn truth. So when you are a public figure, you have to know that this is the place that you're going to be attacked in. Social media. As a public figure, people know that your reputation is important. It's connected to your revenue. It's connected to your potential to make money. It's connected to your ability to attract sponsors and just to move as a public figure. So they're going to always run to social media, baby, to do the motherfucking most. Secondly, whatever your behind doors truth is, get very comfortable with that truth in general, because that behind doors truth more than likely is going to become out loud in the broad daylight truth at some point. You don't get to have a personal life as a public figure, unfortunately. Not even when you go to get people to sign in NDAs and everything else. People turn your life into a circus. People want a clout chase off of their proximity to you. It's just how it goes. So whatever your private truth is, you can still have discretion, but just make sure, girl, that you can stand in that shit you are and do behind closed doors, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to end up out here in one way, shape, or form. And like Funky Dineva says, baby, never let nobody spray you with your own damn tea. Never. You got to be in control. And that's the only way to stay in power, is to be one with your own truth. So nobody can use that shit to make or to break you. We got some conscious crew members in the background. What's going on, rumors? Hey, Sam. Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday.
Hey, beloved. Can you hear me, baby?
Yes, you sound loud, live, and in color.
You know what? I really just came on here to love on you a little bit. And first of all, to tell you how extra beautiful you've been looking. You're doing the absolute most. This is your birthday season.
I gotta come into 2025 showing my ass, Sam.
I mean, beautiful. And I just came to kiss on you. And so, okay, so you know the running gag for Consciouztv is that somebody always get cussed out. Look, because you know I done came on here and showed my ass a couple of times.
Hey, throw it up, baby. Done shot the club all the way up. Shot it out.
So I really didn't even come on here so much for that. I will say this. I do sit in proximity to celebrity. Yes. And a friend of mine who is a professional boxer is going through a situation where there's a newborn baby, X, Y, and Z. And this is somebody he wouldn't even want to be seen with. And I literally suggested to him, I was like, you need to get her to sign an NDA. And he was like, I don't think she'll do it. And I was like, you're a public figure. You need to protect yourself. And this is an example as to why, you know, so I absolutely, of course, I heard the Maddie interview, and I agree with Maddie. Like she say, everybody is on NDA. I got a homegirl who is a viral stylist, and she's met certain celebrities who she didn't know who they were until they showed up to their appointment, and she had to sign an NDA just to do their hair. You understand what I'm saying? You have to protect yourself. So, at this point, I think it's socially irresponsible. If you know you sit in certain proximity, or if you're in a certain seat, if you're at certain tables, or, you know, just whatever, you know who you are. It like you just protect yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why are you still, I'm not even posting in everybody's pictures. Everybody don't know me. I'm not even showing up in there, even with doing spiritual readings, etc. I don't work with everybody. Every client ain't my client. Every dollar ain't my dollar. Every message ain't mine to give. And I think that this is just a cautionary tale once again, because there's many out there like, why aren't people covering themselves? Get in and sign an NDA. You know, I don't think that some people are quote unquote in the closet so much as you just didn't know.
Right, because here's the gag, right? Had he led with his sexuality, then that would have been the conversation. You know,
absolutely.
Had he been out here, gay singer, gay pop star, gay, making a identity out of his orientation, it would have been a problem. I totally agree with him. You know, I got the right to discretion. But while we there, matter of fact, I'm gonna circle back to that, because I think that's gonna create a conversation in and of itself. I got a question for you ladies. Rumors and Tea, welcome to the platform, boo. What are your initial thoughts about what's playing?
Well, I hate to sound like an echo chamber,
Rumors
but
and Tea, kiss, 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 kiss. Hey, boo. Hey, baby.
Beautiful. So yeah, I feel the same exact way. I don't know, first of all, why people aren't vetting. Why celebrities are not vetting, number one. Immediately the first thing I thought about was Selena Powell and Superhead. Like, it gives very much that energy. I don't know why any celebrity, no matter what their sexuality is, I don't know why any celebrity is not vetting, is not paying attention to, maybe they're not readers of energy, but just not paying attention to people's track record. And if this guy had, even if it was one incident, but it still was an incident where he went to social media to expose someone in on whatever level he was trying to expose, like he showed that there's a possibility of him being petty enough, egotistical enough, and narcissistic enough to run to social media to air out anything. Right there, that is a red flag.
Right.
Now, there are celebrities that don't mind that type, because for them that's more like publicity. Any good any and all publicity is good publicity for them. They don't mind, being aired out. But in this particular case, I just don't understand, unless he was in the dark and unaware that this guy Hugo had a pattern of doing this.
Yeah.
But even still, that would go back to what you guys were saying about the NDAs. I just think that when you become, whether you're a celebrity or not, when you're in a certain tax bracket,
Yeah.
I feel like the vetting should be like on 10. I really do feel like there should be like legal counsel. Like when you have attorneys like that, there should be people in your life now. Like you were saying, you were telling your celebrity boxing friend, they should get an NDA. There should just be people in your life that are making these suggestions. Now, although you made the suggestions, doesn't mean that they're going to adhere to it and take the advice. But I think that if that becomes more of the norm, where it's like, get a NDA, get an NDA, get an NDA, and vet these people, that a lot of this would not be. But for some reason, I don't know if people are just thinking through their hormones, or if people are really, really, truly naive in a sense of thinking it won't happen to them. I don't know which one it is, but
No, it's what you said. They don't think it's gonna happen to them. They're especially when we're talking about men, who are penis led strongly. Men will tell you that. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, their penis. Some people, when you're penis led, and again, you're just naive. You don't think it's gonna happen to you. It's cool when you're reading about other people. It's not cool when you're reading about you.
I think the conversation of NDA should be just as aggressively spoken as signing a prenup. And I think that
Right.
anyone like I said, in a certain tax bracket, I feel like if a person is willing to want to date you, see whatever it is you want to call it, I feel like if they refuse to sign an NDA, they get offended, because at the end of the day, logically, it just seems the most rational thing to do
Yeah.
as you're moving up, like I said, in a tax bracket, because it doesn't matter if you are a celebrity. We've seen, like you said, doctors, lawyers, judges, politicians. We've seen where people have gotten in scandals, but there's a flip side to that, because what we are learning now, because I think a lot of people like myself have thought that NDAs protects criminal acts, but we now know because of Diddy
They don't. Of
that
course
an NDA does not protect a criminal act. So, anyone that is dating someone of a high stature, in their acts to sign an NDA, you should never hesitate, because if something criminally is going wrong, you don't have to worry about that. Like that eliminates your right to go to the
So
authorities
let me
and
ask y'all this question then. Had he came into the game open about his sexuality, etc. Well, hold on. Before you guys answer that, shout out to Larry Reed Live. Thank you, Doctor. Shout out to Spill It Boy TV. Hey, boo, all the content creators in the building. Hi, y'all. Everybody, please thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes, CTV is beautiful. Yes, CTV's face card never declines. You guys are welcome. Thank you guys so much. I love y'all. But do y'all think that if he would have led with it, that he would have been as successful? Do you guys think there would have been?
Of course not, Conscious.
Okay, because I say that because we do have the Lil Nas X's you know, in the house, even though he was already big by the time he already had a really sensational viral hit on his hand when he did come out of the closet. That might have helped him to kind of traverse the rest of it. But you don't think that he would have been as successful?
Conscious, one of your viewers just said, Josh Ali said, Khaled seems insecure. He knew Hugo only wanted him for his money. I mean, you have to know coming into the entertainment circuit, you know, and if I'm an author, you know, you're a YouTuber. You understand what I'm saying? I'm an author. Yeah, I do YouTube stuff. I'm not big on YouTube like you are. However, when you're in the entertainment industry, regardless to what proximity, there's always going to be people who are larger than you. So you see what they go through. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you see a lot. You're privy to a lot of information. The bottom line is he just did not protect himself properly. And that doesn't mean that he was quote unquote closeted. It just means like, dude, why didn't you know this? Especially you have a name in the age of modern technology, so you know how this can go. You understand what I'm saying? So how are you that naive? How are you that ignorant? And I don't know that he was either. He just didn't properly cover himself. But now he knows.
Here's the thing. I really don't think that it was necessary. And I don't care. It's not necessary for him to out himself, to disclose his sexuality. Like, I'm so tired of the hypocrisy when it comes like to the LGBT community. Like, it has to be aired out. You have to let people know. No, you do not. No, you do not. That's between you and your partner, the people that you are in personal, intimate relation with. Nobody else needs to know that. And we do know that it has been historically shown that when a person does come out, immediately there's backlash. And for those that do receive a certain amount of success, it is very limited. Unlike a Lil Nas X, he didn't lead out in his career exposing himself immediately. He did what he had to do. He got a viral moment, and then he just came out, or whatever the case may be. But let's look at like Santana. Look at Saucy Santana. You know, he's led with his sexuality and things of that nature, and he's successful, but he has not made or had that viral moment. He's not made the level of success that he wants to, or whatever the case may be. So I just think that it is really hypocritical.
I want to ask you this: has he rumors and tea? Hey, beloved, you know I love you. But has it all? Was you mentioned Saucy Santana? I think Saucy Santana and the other Saucy Santanas of the world. Right. I think Saucy Santana, he has a name. He's known. I think for him specifically, I think that the celebrity that he has, the notoriety that he has, I think that's what he wanted, and he's okay with that. Him specifically, because you mentioned him. Yes.
No, I think he would like more. I think who wouldn't? I think he definitely would like more. And what I'm saying is that he actually he's doing good, but he could definitely do better.
Absolutely. I agree.
That's what I'm saying. Like, had he but I mean, it's Saucy. I hate to say this, but for most people, they would have seen him. They're like, oh yeah, he's part of the community. That type of thing, just assumption. But even with that, like I said, there's a certain amount of I just feel like he's not to where he could have been because of his sexuality. And that kind of sucks. But I also understand why he doesn't push, because it's like, it's like, well, how they say, one step for one, when they walked on the moon, one giant step for mankind.
Right.
It's like, we're going to, what I'm saying, we're going to keep pushing, we're going to get there one day. So that's what I see in all reality. But I don't think Khaled had any responsibility or obligation to tell anybody anything about his sexuality. It has nothing to do with his gifts, his talent, and his professionalism. Nothing. And I'm glad that he was getting support, the support that he did need. But I need people I need Hugo to be like the face, the Selena Powells, and the superheads to be the face of clout chasers and people that you need to avoid, because To me, those are dangerous people.
They are.
Wow. Yeah.
A loose lip
Because
ass
I know stylists and quote unquote regular people who have NDAs and prenups.
Can you
I
guys
do.
hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I want to read some of these comments. Dr. Reed says, "Who you fuck is private. If you're popular, they're going to tell it when you cut them off to borrow the popularity for a while." Okay, so this is actually a great question because I got another question for y'all. But what do y'all say to well-off people, whether it's their fame that they're well off with, or whether it's their money, whatever would make you a lick in other people's eyes? Because it seems historically that people with means have had a very difficult time trying to differentiate from those who truly are there for them and genuinely interested in those who are not. Do you have to kind of give up on love entirely and just assume that everybody's going to use you and just play the game with them of usury? Or do you guys think there's a way for a well-off person to actually vet?
I think there's a way. I think there's a way to vet. I think there's a way to vet. And this is you're talking to somebody who is surrounded by professional athletes, politicians, so on and so forth, people who are well known high up in ministry, so their celebrity and their popularity comes in that proximity, authors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's a vetting process. And again, it goes back to what was stated previously. I think just some people are naive. It's easy when you're watching and reading about other people, but you never think that it's going to be you. Just like Larry Reed said, when you pillow talking with somebody, you never take into account that you're going to be the topic when people are pillow talking with somebody else. So I just think that there's just a certain level of social irresponsibility, naivety when it comes to that. And I see that a lot.
So that we can deepen that, what does vetting look like? Because obviously this question, it don't just pertain to those with means. People in life just have to vet this. Like, what does vetting look like? Because we got to get into how people define love for them to understand what they're even looking for. And
you have to consider the mentality. I mean, Saucy Santana is a hood dude, is a gay hood dude at the end of the day. And I mean, because I'm only using him an example, not that he has anything salacious going on at this time. You understand what I'm saying? But, you have to consider the mentality. As I mentioned, this is in real time. There's a professional boxer I know who is going through something, stressful, X, Y, and Z. It's just a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And it was just like, you need to get her to sign an NDA. Like, until I had that conversation with him, that never even occurred to him that that was something that somebody like himself needed to even do. Well, I don't think she'll do it. Well, if she want to have, regardless if she had a baby from you or not, if she wants, any interactions from you, she's going to have to do it. However, that should have been a conversation that was had up front, but it just goes back to, again, social irresponsibility. You don't think it's going to be you. Just like the CEOs, if you're from the hood,
because we're still not
go ahead, bro.
Answering that question. What does it look like? I mean, because a deceptive, manipulative person will even sign an NDA. I mean,
absolutely. People put it like this right here.
Hold on. And NDAs don't necessarily prohibit anything.
Right.
To me, an NDA is a lot like a police report. It doesn't really accomplish much aside from the fact that you got some legal grounds to hold this person accountable for breach of contract. However, if what they have breached and exposed or spoken is already out there now, the damage is already done. The NDA doesn't reverse time. So moving. I think. When you say so even moving past NDAs, because what I've noticed as a content creator who has had these conversations around like love and relationships and inner work and doing our Iyala and shadow work and all this shit is that I've realized through the 50 million, 11,000 quadrillion conversations I've had with the general public is that most of us are really not clear about what love actually looks like. We use it, we use it, we spell it, we profess to feel it, but we really don't have a clear concept of what really is love, and how do you discern that?
Right.
I mean, how would you know, nurse, that somebody loves you and is not here exclusively and solely for your wealth, for your means, for your beauty solely? Like, how do you know when somebody is present for you as a person beyond all else?
And you know what, Conscious, I'm gonna give you a very honest answer. Sometimes, beloved, you don't know, because look at all the BS we see on the Shade Room every single day. It started off good, it was cute. Look at Portia and Simon. It was all good until it wasn't. Look at Trina. Trina just
all her damn Simons.
Listen, Trina just got married. Trina's 50, damn near. Trina's at 50. Trina just got married, and she was very bold on her podcast interview. She married a regular dude. You know, I didn't do a prenup. My husband gives me all his money, and I've been there.
And you know who else not doing a prenup? What? Trina not doing a prenup. Black China not doing a prenup.
Right. But here, hold on. And I got something to say about that. We're going to veer slightly. I think people look at the Keisha Kaors and the Gucci's of the world, people in that sector. And it's like, yeah, he left for $1 million. He went to prison and she flipped it and she gave him more than that when he got home. That's not everybody's situation. I think people see that and that's the standard. But that's not the standard for everybody. And that's probably not going to be the standard for the person you dealing with. Again, it's all good until it's not. Hell, I know what it's like. This is just a regular dude working a warehouse job. I know what it's like to get engaged. And I'm doing the paperwork for your whole check to get direct deposited into my account. Yeah. And you giving me the keys to your life. You understand? And you switched up and you a regular, technically broke dude. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, again, sweetheart, I just think that when you say, how do you vet people? I think that we all know D, and when sex is involved, it clouds your judgment. Ooh. And so, yeah, I mean, we know that. We've all been there. So D, especially good D.
It clouds every part of mine.
It clouds every part. So look at Cam Newton's quote unquote baby mama, Jazz. That's a whole different woman from the woman who was out here doing her thing, doing all these videos, talking loud with her chest out. But now that she's quote unquote, her words, with a rich nigga who put that pressure on you, yeah, she's a whole different person now. Because D is involved. So at the end of the day, sex clouds your judgment. So when you say, how do you vet? That's a strong question. I don't necessarily have the answer because we have all been through that.
I don't want to give dick that type of power, even though dick and pussy is powerful. It does have its own divinity in and of itself. But you know what's really at the baseline of the alluring power, the seductive, controlling power of dick and pussy is really a lack of people's disciplines, emotionally, mentally, sexually, and underbelly issues such as addictive personality types, trauma, abandonment. All those things is what can amplify a person's experience of sex appeal, of sexual attraction, etc. Dr. Larry, welcome to the platform. I know you have had some things to say in the comment section. What are your thoughts about just all the shenanigans of outing people, exposed culture, NDAs? How in the hell do people survive this?
Hello to you, Consciouztv, and the other two panelists that are talking now. Hello to you both.
Hey, Larry Reed, I love you. Kiss, 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 kiss.
Love you guys too. I just want to say this right quick because it's just a great conversation that I came in on when y'all was talking. What I want to say, number one, NDA is always good to do for everybody. Consciouztv, you're in the public space, and I think the other two ladies, they are as well. So I have two different types of NDAs. One, I put inside of a contract when I'm hiring a contractor. Every last one of them are up under NDAs. And that covers pretty much everything, even personal things. But then I have an additional NDA that is for, how can I say, if it's a personal relationship and it can become sexual, that's another NDA that's very specific to the sexual aspect of it. Now, I think they're powerful tools and they're great. I say that because if you violate an NDA, I'm going to sue you. And the NDA is just like a cease and desist, because it really doesn't have power until it's time to be going to court, a
Yeah.
lawsuit. When you sign an NDA or anything with an NDA clause or non-compete clause, which every contractor, past and present, has one. They
Mm-hmm.
just don't know it. They have one. And if I just felt like it, if anybody violates, and there've been a couple who have, I could sue the pants off of them. And what would end up happening is it would injure their professional reputation and companies, and I can register it to where there's certain companies that run your name through certain systems and processes. It will keep them from working for anybody that of reputation,
Yeah.
rapport, because you will be branded as a person that mishandles sensitive information and no one will trust you. But as you guys are saying over the internet, I don't do that. I mean, I don't do it no more. But I used to sue everybody. But I don't do it no more because everybody's way broker
Right.
than what than yeah. I mean, they don't tell us that on the internet, but
Yeah.
a lot of these people, all they got is their Google AdSense check. So
Evictions.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway,
Neither.
and so I that it is pointless. It's a waste of my own money. But I would suggest to anybody to have NDAs, as the lady said, because if you have the money and the wherewithal and the manpower and the lawyers to take someone to court, that's going to be an automatic win for you,
Mm-hmm.
because the courts, state court, federal court, do not play when it comes to
Yeah.
NDAs,
The contract
especially.
in general. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
especially NDAs, because this country is set up to protect the rich, the powerful, and businesses. So whenever you do anything like that, you really are setting yourself up for an epic fail. So I want to say that. The other thing I wanted to say, because I see the title, anybody that tells anybody what you did with their body and their body with yours is someone who needs recognition
Mm-hmm.
by whoever recognizes you as however you recognize. Because we all got fame on some level.
Yeah.
We all known on some level. They're doing that to borrow your popularity.
Yeah.
That's the reason, to borrow your
Mm-hmm.
popularity for a while. Now, they could be vindictive, they could be hurt, they could be upset, but the bottom one is to borrow your popularity, and that's in hopes of turning it into some form of prosperity.
Yes.
And that's it. That's all I want
Okay.
to
So
say.
my question. Okay. So So let me say this. My form of NDAs these days is I just done close the pussy up. I done put a close for business up on the pussy because I ain't got the time no more. So I just don't even be doing nothing that requires no damn NDA, because these hoes not gonna be quiet, and they willing to be sued. They willing to be locked up. The level of
Yeah.
desperation that these people are on just to have
Mhm.
proximity. Even thinking about old boy here, the fact that he was not going to walk away from this relationship without letting us know that he could snag a man of this caliber
That's
is
what
the
it is.
level of desperation that I'm talking about. This was all
Mm,
ego, in my opinion. All
yeah.
ego, because Alden Khaled has no relationship to his private accusation of you breaking
Hmm.
into his home. This
Yeah.
was about you needing to justify being able to speak about this private relationship public, because it
Yeah.
meant that much to you egotistically to be able to walk around now as the person who was in relationship to this successful brother. And
You need to pull that clip and put it on IG,
I
because
will.
you just summed it up, and that's exactly what it is. When I heard it, I said, "This is clout."
Yeah.
You can say this, that, and the other, but the bottom line, this guy, you can tell he thinks very highly of his looks,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. Number one, number two is you can also tell that this guy had a need to be known. I don't know what Khaled did, but something he did injured his dignity. And maybe just cutting him off, or like he said, I think they said that he would go shop and make him sit in the car because he didn't want to be seen. It's something entered his dignity, and he wanted to get him back because he knew Khaled was not public about his sexuality at all. And so he wanted to injure him back because he felt like that he had already been injured and probably mad at himself for allowing Khaled to have that secret kind of relationship with him. Well, that's what you sign up for when you're dating somebody that is, or frucking somebody who is a public figure.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody never gonna know. They're never gonna know until or unless they decide to do that. And but the kind of person that Hugo is, clearly Khaled knew it and knew that that was not the kind of person that he needs to have on his arm for the day he decided to come out. And Hugo proved that he was way less
Yep.
than someone who would have couth and proper decorum. And we all see that now. And I don't know why collectively we don't just throw Hugo away.
Away. Yeah, he needs to be canceled forevermore. And even though Khaled is not going to take him to court, I wonder if he is done for nonetheless in the court of public opinion, because I mean his actions now speak for themselves.
Yeah, he proved who he is. We all see it now.
Well,
Okay.
it's not going to the court of public opinion. We know that the majority are very homophobic, so he's not going to be
Mhm.
thrown away, unfortunately. But if I can speak real quick on the vetting,
Yes.
how to vet. I think the vetting process should be done before any sexual intercourse is even engaged in. A politician friend of mine said he does not date down. Anyone he dates has to have the same level of potential of like losing something as he. He will
Well,
never date.
excuse me, and I'm gonna get off quick. I agree with that. That part, what she's saying there, I'm not
Yep.
sure who's talking.
The women who
That's the only way you can protect yourself because the vetting doesn't really work. The
yeah.
NDAs doesn't really work unless you go to the thing because you can't vet a deceptive person and you cannot vet a situation that is unique. You let to be somebody who you married, they married, y'all fell into something. I mean, you just don't. Every situation is totally unique to itself, and you can't vet every situation and every person and every circumstance. But that thing about not dating down, that is a sure way. Because if you date someone that is just as powerful and got just as much to lose as you, y'all not about to handle that real messy and take to the internet.
It's
I
less
agree with
likely
that.
that it'll be I used to say that all the time, to date your equal,
Yeah.
because yeah, that's kind of the only other objective way to kind of squash all of this public messiness. My question was going to be to you and room was to Dr. Reed is how full circle should people be in their private truths, especially in the day of everything coming out? Everybody likes to indulge in, you know, the telling of their proximity to someone else. What another way to squash all of this is for people to just come full circle, like with their private truth, so that if anything publicly pops off, it's something that you can just stand in. As Khaled said, I did moving along. I am moving along.
Yeah, I think people should definitely like that's your power in speaking your truth.
Mhm.
But I really, really wish we can get back to a time where your business is your business. Like it does not need a grand gesture of being publicized.
Right.
Like I don't understand why there's an obsession with everyone knowing someone else's private business. It is I don't know if it's because people have lack of real life in themselves, and so they're living vicariously through others. I really don't know what that's about, but
Mm.
I do think and wish that we get back to a place where people have a right to their privacy, and unless they choose to for whatever reason want to disclose that, then that's fine, that's their truth. But to feel like you have to be open with your personal life, I just think that is I kind of feel like it is abusive. I really do. I feel like it is a form of abuse that needs to be done away with. Um, we all, as human beings, have things that in our personal lives that we will not dare want to be publicly exposed.
Yeah.
So why would I feel it necessary for Conscious, for Larry, for anyone to have to tell, like, expose their truths, about their personal lives, when I know there are things that I would dare not want to be exposed?
Yeah, look, I'm going to say this. Josh Alley says he said that Khaled treated him very badly, so this was his get back. Khaled ain't innocent in this situation either. And this is, you know, on this platform, we talk a lot about emotional intelligence. Like, this is where the emotional intelligence comes in at. Take your licking, take your lesson, take the things you need to learn, and move your ass the fuck around. Like, this whole tit for tat, going to hell when they go low shit in this context is just really embarrassing. I honestly feel like it's really shameful because I'm never going to make anybody feel this good about themselves by being so pressed that I run my ass to the internet. The only time I have utilized my platform to squash a narrative is when a bitch has started with me. Outside of that, you're not going to hear nothing publicly about anything that can be resolved privately, because I prefer to handle things that have nothing to do with the public privately, because it has no business up here to begin with. I think it's just something within the low self-esteem of it all, like that you need people to rally behind you, and you need to cry aloud from the public square to get people to, you know, touch and agree with your narrative about someone after you just played the game. Like, this man literally played the game and Khaled won, and he just couldn't rest in that and accept that. And I don't care what Khaled did to him privately, because it sounds like, as Larry said, as we've been saying, we know that this is a clout chasing ass relationship, because, and Mr. Almonte proved it when he said, I was dating this singer, he's ugly as fuck. So what you just told us is that this man wasn't your type. You wasn't sexually and physically attracted to him, which then means that, and because you're also claiming he treated you badly, you couldn't have liked his soul. You couldn't have been attracted to his personality. So the only thing you were attracted to was him being canned goods. He was just seen as a fucking lick. And for whatever reason, the relationship expired. You're not the victim. You were deceptive yourself. Like, you can't help somebody to be deceptive and then try to expose them for being deceptive. You was in this relationship for however long, you were in this entanglement for however long, and as long as you were benefiting, the secret was worth keeping a secret, and you were okay with that. So just shut the fuck up. Figure out why you have a pathology, because people in the chat been exposing Mr. Almonte the whole time, saying he has a pathology of this in the community. In multiple interviews, you can see that he's a colorist, he's a clout chaser. He uses who he feels is the lesser or has self-esteem issues, or people who haven't been picked. And if they have something to gain, he plays into that, gets what he needs, and then he hauls ass. He's done this to other individuals, other high-profile individuals. But you know what's so funny about that? Even though we're having this conversation around how this might also impact Almonte's ability to navigate, the fact that he has a long laundry list of this behavior and still snagged Khaled, it hasn't stopped Almonte.
This is what I'm saying. That's why I reference Selena and the superheads alike. These people have been known to having these pathologies, yet people of certain stature, these high profile celebrities, are still engaging with them. Like someone put in the chat that Selena Powell is allegedly pregnant, and to know this woman's reputation, what she said about herself publicly and openly, and know that people are still willing to get involved with her on any level, it is kind of like diabolical in the sense of like, so what is wrong with you? Like, how low vibrational are you that you're willing to lay down with a person that you know repetitively will expose, once things go wrong, they're going to expose whatever relationship you had with them. So, you know, these people are intentionally inviting this into their lives, these type of scenarios and situations into their lives. I don't think that Hugo is a victim. He willingly participated for, and the problem was that he was not integral and genuine about his relationship with Khaled, and this is why things more than likely ended, and he was treated the way he was treated. But you willfully, I don't see someone that you knew was not out. I don't even think that, I'm gonna be honest, the general public, we may have not known. There may have been, like you said, you look at some of his work and things or whatever, there's little slight subtleties or whatever. Like he may have been, he may have in his own way exposed himself.
He may have just been discreet, like we
just been very private about his life, which is nothing wrong with that.
Life new. Yeah,
like, which is nothing wrong with that. I utterly, not because of his sexuality, I respect that anyway. I am like so tired. Like, I don't know how to express that any other way to just say that I'm tired of, like, I love to see love and all of the whatever people's expressions of love is, but it's like everyone that is, it's the exploitation of relationships for clout. I'm tired of seeing that every time, you know, someone gets in a relationship, they gotta, you know, go live and post things or whatever the case may be, and then it doesn't feel like there's any real substance to these relationships, and it's like people are doing it for clout, and I just really wish that it would just kind of just die down and just stop.
So let me pull on Khaled's wig just a little bit more, right? Because, you know, the 100% fail-proof way to really avoid a lot of this shit is to be a person who is really certain and comfortable in your truth in general, whatever, like all your truths. Someone who is just resolved, for one. Because here's the thing, right? Khaled can say, I'm discreet. No, bro. I also can't let you completely walk away with that narrative because you led as an artist, as a heterosexual, and you didn't mind the freaky songs. You didn't mind the female love interests like Normani's in your videos. You didn't mind the sexual expression. There's nothing discreet about what you're practicing. In and of yourself, there is some discomfort about being queer and being queer as a public figure. And that's okay, because in the world of homophobia, you have every reason to fear the consequences of homophobia, which can have grave impact on your career, on your demographic, on your bottom line margin. However, let's just call a thing then. Because we're not going to act like you've been Mother Teresa in your music and you just been producing Barney and Friend lyrics. You are talking shit in this music. You are being sexual in this music. You are utilizing females to represent those who are on the receiving end of your sexuality. So we can see here this dichotomy then, where you are comfortable presenting as a heterosexual, and you're comfortable being sexual as a heterosexual, but then want to use the excuse of your real truth being a same gender loving man as well. I didn't have to tell anybody. Yeah, fine, of course you don't, but that doesn't also seem to be what's entirely happening here. What do y'all think about that?
Well, you know what, Conscious and Rumor, first off, hello. You know what I think is actually, there's a term, and Conscious may know this, there's a term in the community performers, that do adult films. They call them gay for pay, and those guys are straight, but then they perform in gay adult films. But what I feel, and just a feeling that I have, there are also performers in this world, in the entertainment industry, who may perform as straight and do it willingly. They go, because I don't feel, for me growing up, it was almost a death sentence to a career, or even to yourself in the 80s or 90s, whatever. If you were exposed, people would protest and and who knows what might be happening next year with the way this country is. But I think for me, with Khaled, it really was maybe a conscious decision to sit down, feel very comfortable, say, you know what, I like what I like, and I just want to make all this money. I want to make as much money as I can, and I want to be straight for gay, or what is it? It's a term, whatever. He wanted to just play straight for money, basically, and he felt very comfortable about it. But I want to say one thing to this Hugo person, because that's what I was talking about in the chat. You know what, Conscious? You know what? I don't know what's going on, but I feel like maybe post-pandemic, there's so many of these people, and it doesn't even matter if it's on a high level to celebrities, but there's so many of these guys on social media, on dating apps, that have this same kind of attitude. Now, I've been lucky enough not to come across this kind of person, or they've been lucky enough to come across me, because I don't really play with that. But they just have this attitude. For me, you were saying something about this, or the idea that he was treated badly. I feel maybe this Khaled person had enough intuition to say, you know what, this person doesn't respect me, because we do have intuition. You can sense when somebody doesn't respect you, and you go along for the ride as long as you want to. And at a certain point, you get tired, and then you toss the person, aside. You just go, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And then, they get angry and they start exposing. But I think that maybe Khaled kind of felt that this person really doesn't really respect me. He wants to be here just to, be in the fancy hotels, get the benefits and stuff like that. And that kind of was what was happening in that situation. I don't think that this Hugo person was, treated badly. I think that they kind of knew what was going on. But Hugo, he represents a big part of the community, a big part. These guys who, are almost predatory. They go out and they seek people on dating apps and Instagrams and different places. It doesn't matter if you work in the post office or you're a celebrity. They go and seek out people who they feel is an easy person who they can say, oh, you know what, I want to spend time with you or whatever. And then they end up doing this kind of stuff. And the moment you say, you know what, I don't want to pay your bills, I don't want to be disrespected, I don't want you to lie about this and all that kind of stuff. Then they say, oh, you know what, you're ugly, you're fat, you're old, it's given angry rent man syndrome. It's just what I used to call it. Yeah, there's definitely, that kind of energy where you flip on a person. My question, I had talked to a guy like that. I said, for me, it hurts me to be fake. It hurts me deeply to be fake. It wouldn't be enough money in the world. $1 million wouldn't be enough money worth for me to tell a man that, I think he's beautiful when I don't, not because I'm, judging, but I just don't want to lie to people. So I don't know. That's a deep toll to put on yourself, to be lying all the time when you don't do it. But some people, they do it. And that's why they kind of feel cold when you're around them. They kind of feel drained. They may look beautiful on Instagram, but in person, there's no warmth there. There's like a deadness to these kind of people.
I'm just holding the fake advocates of discretion accountable, because if you genuinely are a discreet person, you're going to be that as a heterosexual, as a bisexual, and as a homosexual. You aren't going to make no excuse or exception to the rule if you're truly a discreet person. Your song and your artistry is going to be neutral. It's going to be non-sexual. It doesn't even something that is about another person romantically and or sexually. It doesn't identify any particular gender, etc., because you are truly a discreet person. If you're claiming to be discreet but are okay with sexual expression and romantic expression as a heterosexual, then you're lying about being discreet. You're lying about being discreet. This isn't about you being discreet. There is another truth that you are just not admitting to. And if it's just a fear of being out, if it is the fact that you fear career consequences, you fear social consequences, because once again, we know that queer phobia is a thing, then that's perfectly fine. But it is hypocritical to claim, well, I'm a discreet person. But then once again, you got girls tooting and flipping in their drawers and trying to sell you they pussy through a padded window at a hotel room in your music videos and talking about making love in your lyrics to women, etc. There's nothing discreet about that. And if you are discreet, you would be discreet in both directions. So I just, I can't help but tug on Khaled's wig a little bit about it being nobody's business who his sexual or romantic partner is, because as long as that partner was a member of the opposite sex, you would be toting them around on the red carpet, toting them around in music videos, making them the inherent the heir to your love songs, etc., and your affections, like you are doing in your music. DJ, I want to call this man DJ Khaled so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Khaled is either dealing with the self issue or it's a fear issue. It's either the fear of the consequences of people knowing his tea, or he's not entirely resolved as a person. But I do think that all these elements of what's happening are noteworthy to be discussed, whether we're talking about how queer people have to navigate, how they have to mask their identities, how they have to conform in order to survive the corporate and or social and or religious consequences of their actual identity, or how even if you are a esteemed, proud, same gender loving person like myself, that's also separate now from the fear of what other people would do to you, because your openness and your self-love does not keep someone from harming you. It doesn't keep you from being discriminated against. It doesn't keep you from experiencing prejudice. For instance, YouTuber turned successful blogger, entrepreneur, a lovely B. Scott. Very openly flamboyant. I don't know if B. Scott is non-binary or is trans. I'm not really sure, but is an openly queer person. Everybody know that they are queer, etc. And yet, despite how open they are, how fluid they are in their gender expression, they were hired by BET and got discriminated against. So the reality of the witch hunt against you as a queer person is real, even if you love yourself. We have the T.S. Madisons, the CTVs, the Funky Dinevas, and even all of our queer content creators still experience homophobia and transphobia.
Mm-hmm.
Still, even as high and as popular, as successful as whatever, still have to rendezvous with that. So it's just interesting kind of seeing all of these aspects in this one situation with Khaled. You have homophobia, you have clout chasers, you have the question of how do people with means protect themselves from succubus and predatory parasitic individuals who want nothing but your gold pot at the end of the rainbow. You have all this like intersecting stuff, and I just find it very dynamic. But I'm gonna tell y'all, like, my go-to is just to, whatever it is, whoever you are, whatever you do, whether you decide to be discreet, whether you decide to be open, is whatever it is, just be comfortable. Just be comfortable in you. Just be comfortable in you, so that if in the hypothetical shit hits the fan, that shit that you wanted private becomes shit that's 6 o'clock news, that becomes the trending topic of today, that you can still walk with your head up high, and that there's no shame, there's no nothing, and you can take your lickings on the chin. But please be comfortable. You gotta be, because even as Larry said, even though technically you can hold somebody accountable for breaching an NDA, the damage is still nonetheless done. And you still got to navigate that emotionally and mentally and physically, with your teeth being all out here. Like, you still have to walk through that valley of the shadow of death, even if you can hold the person who created that valley experience accountable. And if you're not comfortable in yourself, trying to navigate that valley can take you out.
Yeah.
The way that people get ran down on these days on the internet, the way that the public feeds off information and feeds off of a person's corpse when they become the center of attention is enough to bring even the strongest of people mental health crashing the fuck damn down. So you have to, before you get deep off into this space, especially in this era where you have so many young people, right? So many young people now are wanting to be content creators instead of going to college. They want to be TikTokers. They want to be YouTubers. They want to be content creators. They want to be podcasters. You know, people are really signing up for this, and young people are wanting to step into this role. And I don't think it's enough conversation around what comes with being a public figure and how you have had to navigate your life as a public figure. I remember there were so many comments in the comment section of me and T.S. Madison's interview where people kind of found it sad that Maddie has to NDA the fuck out of everybody, including the spouses of the people in a community, including the friends of the friend. Like, they have to NDA everything and everybody. And in a way that is tragic, and in a way that is very fucking sad, when you have to put that many still bars up around you in a attempt to secure some type of privacy and autonomy. And I say attempt because, once again, we know that NDAs can be breached, they can be broken. So it doesn't necessarily keep yourself safely nested in, but these are the things, unfortunately, that do come with being a person of means. And no, you don't have to have millions of dollars. You don't have to be all across MTV and Viacom in order to come face to face with something like this, because even very small, teeny tiny public figures, like even small, very teeny tiny, like it's people in the beef sector who are going through this shit. Like,
well, conscious,
they get get caught on them. Like, it's just so much social violence that they're experiencing just by being available to the public by way of being a public figure. So
I was going to say too, I love what you said, because I was going to add to that point too. What about being in a bad relationship and God help you, that person you were, just not like this, but somebody say, let me show you the text and what they did and what they brought.
Yeah.
Now we come, right. So now the thing is, you can be a star, or you can be just a regular Joe Schmo, and now people need to know what you did at work, and then you're building stuff like that. So my thing is, I've talked to people, and I try to help people in the community, in my community around here, and I try to tell people in some ways, listen, try to live if you don't live your life currently as if 25 people are reading your messages, your emails and stuff like that, try to get yourself to that point. Because at a certain thing, we live in a society where, we even have programs in New York City where the cameras can be, where it's watching the public all the time. We are always being watched at all times. So we kind of realize, okay, the world we live in, we're under a microscope, and everything we say is going to be eventually one day viewed somehow, some way. Then you just have to sort of, gradually go that way. And even with this situation with Khaled, if you're just a guy that just want to have fun, and your business is basically being very sexy with women and music, and being very fun and having a good time with your male friends and stuff like that in your private life. If you're doing things in your private life that God help you, it's not like Diddy, again, we're not saying it is, but it's just having a good old time. But then once you get exposed, it's not going to be destroying you. So I think that's what I do. I think that for me, I just kind of always feel myself, maybe for the past 10 years, that whatever I say in my personal life eventually may be seen by, a court of my peers or something. So I try to be good in my personal life. Because for me, I do feel guilty if I'm hurting people, or if somebody mad, that's not what I like to do. So that's my thing. So if you're not doing anything nasty and bad, then, you should be okay. But I do feel like we live in a very—
That's the thing though, like people also lie. Like, people don't also be telling the truth. They lie on you as a get back. They lie on you to try to hurt and hinder you, even if they were treated 100% like a damn king or queen behind closed doors. If they become disgruntled for whatever reason, then they try to lie on you, because, once again, most people know that people's public reputations are fragile in and of themselves, that the public is very flimsy, which is why I don't get caught up in haters or fans, because I know that a lot of the people that fan over me today may find a reason to hate me tomorrow, and the same people hating me today may find a reason to be a fan tomorrow. So, you know, I don't even allow myself to even kind of internalize the attention, whether it's coming from a negative or from a positive place, because the moment that you do, like, once again, you've given power to the public that pretty much puts you on a hamstring and allows you to be a chew toy to the public. You have to be able to disconnect from that, and you have to be really rested in your sense of self and develop a true sense of esteem about yourself, so that whether you're hated today, whether you're loved tomorrow, whether you're exposed today, whether you're pedestalized tomorrow, that you're standing in a peace that is tangible in all ways because it's yours. It's not due to whether people love you or like you. It's not due to whether folk I'm going to side with you today and hate you tomorrow. But once you start getting caught up in all of that, like, it becomes a disaster for your mental health. I also want to respond to Melissa, who says that Nikki was bisexual and didn't impact her career. So it's Meg. Yeah, female sexuality is very different in terms of impact relative to the impact that male sexuality has. So female bisexuality, like under a patriarchy, men are not going to push back about women liking what they like. So of course they make space for bisexual women. They make space for gay women. They make space for lesbian women, because women liking what men like. The pushback for men is going to come from men, because heterosexual men aren't attracted to other men. And for some reason, heterosexual men largely take other men's sexuality very personally, and it becomes a whole thing. You also have the issue of women who like to think of men being available to them, who have internalized homophobia as well, have internalized queerphobia, who it's just a whole thing. Like, men don't get away with the same thing sexually and in orientation that females. So it's the standard that's going to be there. However, I will say because we've been making some strides, we do have some exceptions, right? Like, we have Lil Nas X, who is doing okay as a completely openly bisexual, pansexual, gay, whatever he is. You also have the Frank Oceans, and I think Frank Ocean is what can happen when you ain't lying about it, but you're not leading with it either. And I think that's why people can still appreciate Frank Ocean's music, why they can still think of Frank Ocean just as a musician and not necessarily like a gay artist. And it's because he ain't running from the truth about his orientation, but he ain't leading with it either. So it allows whatever he is in fact leading with to be what's making the headlines, which is his music and his artistry. Someone else said, the Queen B More said, Tyler the Creator. Yeah, Tyler the Creator apparently is bisexual. So I do think it's a way in this day and age for Black male artists who are bisexual, who are gay, to be able to have that conversation or to acknowledge that without it being completely detrimental to their brand. And it largely is probably going to depend upon whether they decide to lead with their orientation or just simply acknowledge it, but continue to lead with their craft and their skill and their God-given gift. I feel like if you can lead first with that, then it can be okay. I also still think there's an issue with that because we don't require that from heterosexual people. However, baby steps. At least we're at a time where queer people have options that don't completely put them in a position to have to deny who they are. But we still have a long ways to go, because I would love for queer people to be able to lead if that's what they need to do. I would love it if Khaled could, instead of having a Normani as a love interest in a song video could have a male counterpart, someone that is a representation of his genuine attraction. If he could be just as PSA or PDA as everyone else, as any other heterosexual person, Michael Jackson to every hip hop rapper, to Chris Brown, to Trey Songz, to like, they all are able to have partners and orient their songs toward what they genuinely like. That should be also be able to be the case for queer artists, who should be able to say he and him and love on a man in a love song or in a music video, etc., without the public being like, this is too much and this is the gay agenda. It's just queer people being true to their truth and their narratives as anybody else is being.
Right.
But we aren't completely there, but it is what it is.
Amen. I mean, listen, I had a conversation with a conservative guy. Oh my gosh, maybe it was last year. This was before the election. And he was talking about he was so scared of his children, you know, watching the Disney Channel and seeing the gay characters go up there. And I said, I called him to the show and I said, well, were the characters having sex? He said, no, it was Disney. I said, well, listen, I'm a gay black man and I don't want any children to see anybody having sex, gay or straight. He kind of got quiet right there. So yeah, I think that when it comes to the children, nobody's out here chasing after people's innocence. You know, we're trying to live our own lives. So this sort of made up narrative that if you're gay or trans, whatever, that you're the boogeyman, that you're out there trying to attack people. That's not the case. I think there's a lot of people in our community that wants to protect children, to help protect them for their own families. You know, why do you have this crazy person in your family talking about very graphic things? That's not coming from the community. It's coming from these crazy people. So that's one thing there. And also, you know, we do have Sam Smith, and it feels like it's so crazy that a couple of years ago, where he was celebrated with his beautiful music, even recently, The Unholy was a wonderful song. Yeah, with Kim, I forget the beautiful lady. She was in that movie. That was a wonderful song, Unholy. But now we live
George Michaels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love George Michael. But Sam kind of, I love Mr. George. I love his song. But Sam represents this moment. But you know, I don't know going forward what's going to happen. But you know, because you were just saying, you know, you were saying about how it is a little more acceptable for the ladies to, you know, express themselves and be curious about things. And this whole election, based on the polls that came back, was all about mostly the community, about the fears and what the people are doing. We ain't doing a damn thing. We're living our lives. Hell, we got our own problems to deal with. We're not trying to think about the Joeys and the Billies, and I'm not thinking about that shit. I mean, come on. So yeah, I think we got a lot of work to do. We do.
Yeah. I want to read a Melissa comment again too. It says, but it's based off optics and finances. It's not as profitable to cater to the LGBT than the larger heterosexual market. But once again, like we are begging to differ here, since we do have openly very successful queer people like Lil Nas X, like Frank Ocean, like Sam Smith, as a male is saying, etc. But, you know, it's just some adjusting. You just have to adjust. But I agree with other sentiments in the comment section that record labels and like white male heterosexual capitalism is really setting up queer people for the ultimate failure, because being something that you're not ultimately is something that more than likely is going to come to bite you in your ass.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to end up answering for the lies you told, and that becomes a question of your integrity, etc. I just think ultimately that people need to live in their truth, and I don't think that your truth, I don't think that your material ambitions should be more powerful than your personal integrity as a person. I'm actually the person who don't think that we should always sell out. I'm not the person who doesn't believe that money should always be the excuse or success should always be the excuse. Because for me, as a spiritualist, true success is rooted in your self-evolution and your self-actualization, not in whether you're a college degree, not whether you're wealthy, not rather in you having global superstardom. At the end of the day, our souls came to evolve. We came to find the Godhead and the God particle. We came to personify love. We come to undo karmic debt. We come to self-actualize. It's not about whether you now own your first home and are working a pretty promising job by the time that you are 30. It's not about whether you have acquired the so-called American dream. It's not about whether you have lived up to the expectations of your community or your culture or your family. It's really about your intentionality toward growth and transmutation as a soul who's having a material experience. And I kind of hate a lot of times in this particular culture in the West that everything is about money. And everything is about success in that sense. And everything is about sitting that shit to the side as if it's secondary to life. Like, no, bitch. Like my fulfillment is not going to be rooted in whether I make it to 1 million subscribers in my lifetime, or rather I'm going viral every single week, or rather I have all the money that money can make me in a lifetime. You know what I would much rather have than all the money in the world, than all the fame in the world, than all of the sponsorship in the world? Is I would much rather have carved out a true central core self and have a genuine sense of fulfillment and happiness in my life that is not rooted in the obtainment of material things.
And it would be.
I would much rather be the kind of person who can live on a country hillside in my little cottage and literally have my breath taken away by the vastness of just the beauty of the landscape and my little farm animals and maybe a few concubines that are amongst me. Like, I would much rather be somebody who is clear thinking and clear-headed who can offer another human being a home in my heart, who can offer another human being a safe space in my life, who could be a great friend, can be a great grandson, can be a great brother, who can be a great lover. Like, that's where all my achievements are as a person. Yes, I am happy at the things I've been able to accomplish. I'm happy with what I've been able to create. I'm happy with, the material success, but that is hardly what my fixation is. Like, I'm really working out, making sure that I'm successful in my heart and my motherfucking mind. The rest of this shit I know is a delusion and illusion and is a part of the hamster wheel of the fucking matrix cycle. And that's what I'm breaking up so that my next incarnation can be, just not even my next incarnation, just so that I can experience the fruit of what life is supposed to be like. When Christ says, I've come so that you may have life more abundantly, I've had to sit back and think about myself, like, what the fuck is life? Because have I ever really thought about what is life? Take away the fame, the fortune, take away the beauty of it all. Like, what actually is life at heart? What is life in principle? And what life really is love, wisdom, and liberation. That's really what life is. Love, wisdom, and liberation. And if you don't have that, you really don't have nothing, if you ask me, which is why so many people who, quote unquote, have a lot of stuff have a lot of interpersonal problems. They have a lot of issues. They are on all levels of drugs and addictions and dysfunctions, because we keep seeing the stars fall down from Mount Olympus telling us that there's nothing up there, and yet we continue to run our ass uphill. As the stars and the gods fall from the sky and plummet to the earth, we still, for some reason, point our compass upstream and go running our ass up to obtain a bunch of nothing. All these substances right here. And if we can actually just get clear about that and stop biting the fruit and biting the apple and biting into the delusion of what's trying to be sold to us by the system, and get in touch with the substance of life, the substance of being, baby, you can be happy, you can be fulfilled, you can be at peace, and you can be well under any motherfucking set of circumstances. Broke, broken, ugly, fat, big back. You can be motherfucking fulfilled, happy, okay, rested, and content under any motherfucking circumstance. That's what that whole peace transcending understanding comes in at. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, I never want to lose that. I want to be somebody who has peace in and of itself, not have peace because I got money, not because peace because I am gorgeous as hell, not because I have peace because of things, but have actual fucking peace. Because all that other shit that I'm going to rely on for peace are subjected to compromise. The storm can come and blow down my house. Any type of medical debt, financial debt, school debt, loan debt can wash away my richness. Disease and illness could wash away my beauty. So then what the fuck is left? If all the things I'm using to feel good are removable and compromisable, you know what's left? Nothing but fucking misery. So I would love it if all people from all walks of life could just get clear about who they are, not make pacts and deals with the devil. The music industry can be the fucking devil. The powers that be politically and governmentally can be the motherfucking demons. The church house can be the goddamn demon. The devils and demons can come in all forms, shapes, and fashions. But if you're clear with who you are, you won't find yourself selling out, and more importantly, you can't be destroyed by your truth when you're in alignment to it. Your truth can only empower you. It can't destroy you when you're one with your truth. Anya, I know you were trying to get in here, I think, a little bit ago.
Yeah, so you never let a laugh anytime you're on a Sunday. You always preach a good word. You know that? Y'all make sure y'all lay y'all offerings, the collection plate is going around. Lay y'all offerings at the throne of grace, getting a good word. I have to say, this is something that the Western world, like when I think about other countries and continents, right? How they just emphasize the importance of family values, life values, love, and all the things that truly, truly matter. Living off the land, appreciating the earth, wanting with nature. Like we know that it just does not. It's not embraced here. It's not taught here, and so people like cannot help but to fall into the trap of the manipulation tactic of everything is about a tangible financial or materialistic item, and it is really truly a distraction. I don't know how to get people to understand that it is a spell that has been cast upon us to keep us from being the best versions of ourselves, because when we are the best version of ourselves, we don't fall for the trap, the old typical manipulation trap that has been around since, if the story of Adam and Eve is true, since Eve bit the apple. I believe that story, I believe it is true, but I see the significance of why the story was told for those that don't believe the story is true. The significance of understanding we were better off because we were aware of what was truly important. All of our needs were met. So now we have been, like I said, put into a spell where it is not a need to want to be a millionaire. That's not a necessary need for us to be, wanting to own 5 or 6 luxury cars, and like you said, the more you obtain, the more problems you have. There's a reason why that is a statistical, factual thing. Because it's not a need, that is a want, and most of our wants have gotten us in trouble on some level, whether it is financial trouble. Most of the time it's financial trouble, but it always leads back to our health. It always leads back to our health. And I just wish that we as beings, as human beings, can get to a place where we really understand that all this shit is smoke and mirrors. It is a damn trap. And the only way to actually release yourself from the trap is understanding what truly matters the most. And it ain't the materialism. And I'm so glad that this has turned into that conversation, because I really believe that we need to have more discussions about this type of topic, because it will say, if people really open their minds, their hearts, like not to what they know, not to what you think, not to how you feel, but the true reality of a lot of our problems are in existence because of what we want and not what we need.
Woo, shit, nah, that's a mother preacher. Roma.
Now you preacher, I'll be the usher or something, just amening you and helping you. But that is a reality, you know. And it kind of like, as a human that falls short of that at times, it kind of hurts, because I understand like the indoctrination that we have been, like I said, put into the spell under. I understand it or whatever. Of course, like look at Conscious. We all like, you know, melt when we see you, Conscious, because you know you're a bad motherfucker. Like you look good, you know what I mean? Like, and that takes that you know, that requires effort. But I don't think, as the young man was saying, I don't think that it is necessarily an aesthetic thing. There's a glow that shows up from the inside of you.
Oh, you talking about
I can't see his name, but the guy that was just talking, because remember he had said how some people look good. Who's up here with us now?
Oh, that's a woman. Her name is Mel. That's a female.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mel. I apologize for misidentifying you.
I'm not a woman. I'm a man.
Hush, Mel.
It's okay. It's okay. I get told the same thing sometimes. They say my voice be deep, but okay, look. The point, what I'm saying is, you definitely touched on that when you said there are people, aesthetically they look beautiful, but they look dead. Like they don't have that glow. You have a glow that comes from the inside, and it's so radiant that it don't matter how the fuck you show up on this panel. I don't give a damn. My son was like, oh, remember I told you he's an emo. My son was like, oh, he dressed like an emo or whatever. I said, ain't he a bad bitch? Or whatever. And he looked at me and I was like, yeah. I said, no, he look good though, right? Or whatever. He just kept looking. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter how you dress, whatever. That radiant energy from the inside, and that takes, as you said, shadow work. That takes, you know what I'm saying, showing the best version of yourself, like being intentional and not being so consumed about fucking materialism. You know what I mean? Like that takes work.
It does. And like you said too, like none of us are above being vacuumed into the material vortex, you know, which is why we have to be intentional, because our divinity is simultaneously superimposed upon our ego. And so we're always living alongside the ego, which is why we have to have self-care practices. We have to have spiritual practices, and these have to be lifestyles and initiatives and like mandates in our lives, so that our egos can be managed, because you never get rid of the ego. So there's always a temptation, or you might even find yourself unconsciously participating in the illusion, in the disillusionment of it all, and you know, in the bullshit of it all. And it's about the continual practice of that self-awareness. That's why I always tell people, when I'm not here, what I'm doing is living. I'm being present. I am focused on the things that truly that also matter, and that truly matter, and the things that money can't buy. And even going back to that conversation right around NDAs and all of that, the reality for me is I am at a place in my personal humanity where I know it's important and it's necessary for me to have healthy, loving relationships. I'm not the NDA person yet. But I am still open to the development of interpersonal relationships, not simply like romantic, but like just interpersonal in general. Like, just because this is what we came for, right? Like, we came for each other. That's why we were born in packs. We were born into communities. We were born into families. We were born unto mothers and fathers. We were literally born into a bundle package. We come for each other. We all need that, including Khaled. You know, but Khaled was trying, his back was against the wall between what his life needs, which is I need love, I need relationship, I need interpersonalness, and also trying to give his label what it wanted. Because as somebody said here, I can see and accept that his label probably had a lot to do with why he decided to parody a heterosexual individual, because it was marketing. It was easier to market that. It's a larger demographic. It's more money in that. Blah 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 blah. But the takeaway is that all people need connection, and that's why he had to have it, even if it had to be a damn secret, even if it had to be tucked away somewhere, even if it had to have a veil pulled over it, that nonetheless still had to have access to some type of intimacy. And I wish that for all people. I wish that for all people. When T.S. Madison came up here to interview, I asked her that. I said, you know, how are you navigating where you're going and the need for intimacy? Because you're not above that need either. You need connection like anybody else. And yes, you have things you have to protect, but you also are a human being, and you need love. You need to have relationships that you can be emotionally, mentally, and physically naked in, that you can be vulnerable in. You need to have access to unconditional love. You need to be able to provide unconditional love. Like, this is something that we all motherfucking need. And so I also think that if you are a person who has something to lose in any regard, and you kind of have to navigate your life meticulously when it as it relates to socially, just also like find your fine balance between like being aware of the circumstances, but also make sure that you're not being afraid. Make sure that you're not being so fear-based that it results in you being super guarded, and it results in you never being able to give yourself over or take those type of chances on other people in order to produce something really meaningful for yourself and for the individual, because you will do yourself a grave disservice if you stay locked up like a corpse in a coffin, if you stay guarded up like Noah in a fucking ark, if you just don't have access to what your humanity needs. It'll show up in ways that are going to be a disaster for your personhood, for your mental health, etc. Like, that's what I want us to take a look at the lives of people who live very heavy lives. That's typically our public figures and our celebrities and the wealthy, etc. You know, there'd be so much abuse. There'd be so much like DV, domestic violence going on. It's so crazy in the background. Because that stuff has to show up. It has to show up. So just make sure that you're not allowing any walk in life to put you in a box. No level of success to put you in a box. Any level of success that strips you of your humanity, that tells you you don't have a right to be human. You don't have a right to love. Don't live your life entirely guarded. Yes, you might have to be more proactive about making sure that people are who they say they are, but ultimately give yourself permission to feel, give yourself permission to fall, give yourself permission to form meaningful relationships, because just one meaningful relationship, just a handful of truly meaningful relationships is enough to do a person's whole entire life a lot of good. And it is not missing out on. I'll shut up.
No, that's okay. I was going to say, you know what? You're speaking right to me, because I'm going to share this right now, because now I really have to. You know what? I've called into YouTube to talk about the topics on different channels, stuff like that. But I never. So for me, Conscious here, I lived in New York City all my life, and I'm, you know, I've been through some things. And I would say, for me, I don't trust people. At least I didn't for a very long time. I really didn't trust people based on the way they treated my mother, who I love very much. And also what I went through with certain people. I don't trust men at all, you know. But
and you shouldn't.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've had some experiences. As actually, this year has been my quiet year. I would say my quiet year, just sort of focus on things. But I will say, after the election, which I was very, you know, upset about, it's kind of opened me up to go out and to do different things. For me, I'm still at the stage where I'm just focusing on myself. Because I made decisions in the past, basically just helping people, not a martyr, but just sort of, it's in my spirit to help. That's why I said I'd like to help people. But sometimes it comes back and get me real quick. And so now I want to help without, you know, anticipate anything, which I'm going to give what I have, and then that's all I'm going to do. So that's what I've been focused on. I do love myself. But my confusion was always when I would interact with people, the lady was saying, you know, I would interact with people, and I've always been very intuitive and sensitive, and then I would blame myself and say, why didn't you anticipate this was going to happen? You know, I would blame myself, but then I realized that it happened because it was supposed to happen. That I was supposed to learn something from it. Basically, everything that I've ever went through has made me stronger. So I'm not jaded, but I'm very real. I'm very real. I'm like, you know what? I'm not really that kind of mushy kind of person. I'm just a person who will take baby steps at a time. But I'm open now. I'm very open because I don't believe in evil. I believe in love. I believe in love. I believe love will win. I believe in all that stuff because I've had these experiences in my life. I mean, I was I didn't go there. I was on a bus years ago, and I was crying for 2 hours. I was like, well, what happened?
Oh, wow.
Now, when I was with a woman on the bus with me, she said, well, you something, you know, you were having this moment there. Cause it was like, it was ecstasy or something. It was not a sexual thing, or I never had drugs, but it was something that I never experienced in my life. It was on the bus and a woman next to me just turned around and said, oh, you know, you were having, you know, you were open or something was going on. So I remember, so I've had things in my life and when I've not been angry with who I say is in charge, God, I talk to God and I say, well, it would be nice if this happened, and sure enough, that happened. So things do happen in my life, and I've always been this way. But I'm very real with all the people, all not the voices in my head, but all the people I talk to people, and I pray, I do my talking, and I'm very real. I'm like, listen, I'm not liking life right now. I'm not liking this, but you know what? I'm open to where I'm going to go. But yeah, you definitely, for me, what I realize is that I don't judge people, but I don't understand them all the time. I think that's what I've come to my life right now. I don't always understand. And maybe in a couple of years I will understand maybe the Hugo. Because right now I will, my guard would go up. I can see them coming a mile away. I can feel the drain on them. I call them emotional vampires. I call them emotional vampires.
Sure.
They're coming in with their trauma. You know, they're looking for a target financially or for me, it's always energetically. I've never given a man money in my life, but they've gotten me to help them with their resume or with their apartment search or something. I've done all that. And when that was all done, they were good. They were gone. I was like, oh, damn. So, you know, so for me, so I'm working on some things, but I do my reading, I do myself. Also, when it comes to a spiritual practice, I didn't believe in that when I was young. I'll be honest with you, I didn't. I was like, what's this? It's not money. It's not this. It's not, what's going on here? Only when I got older did I realize that it was something I could do for myself, because I did buy into this idea that if it's invisible, it's not real. Well, it's very real, very real. What I realize now, the most real thing in my life is actually invisible to the naked eye. It's not something that you can touch or you can sleep on. It wakes me up in the morning. It manifests things in my life. It's more real than cash, you know. So
Cash that part.
you know, so that's when I grew up. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I got to flip this around, you know.
Yeah.
And even as Nicole was saying,
that's matrix breaking is what you're talking about, Mel. That's matrix breaking.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I thank you. I've done my reading. I've read everything. Also, when the call was just saying about the world we live in, I was sitting around pondering, as I sometimes do a lot. Again, I don't talk like this consciousness. This is exciting to me to really show up this way. I was like, wow, you know, they monetize love. And I was talking to a friend of mine. I said, what do you mean? I said, I was looking on this graph, and years ago, human people would just meet each other at the supermarkets and the places, whatever. In 2024, maybe 89% of how we communicate and how we think love is associated with, or friendship associated with, it is on your social media, whether it's your YouTube, your social media, or your dating apps. And somehow these corporations figured out that something that takes no effort, we now had to put a lot of effort into. Like, why is that? That makes no sense, you know? So we definitely have to pull back and go, okay, what have we been manipulated to believe that, you know, that things that take no effort needs to be on the apps or this? No, it's not true. So I'm just doing that work right now, where even I'll say this too, but I had a little argument with a Trump supporter recently. I said, let me tell you this, when I was born, my birth certificate had no political affiliation. It was just me being who I am. I'm a human being who always vote for civil rights and human rights, not based on anything else. So I want to get away from labeling. I think we, as human beings, we get addicted to labeling each other. You know, and I was looking at the flower, which one of my lessons from A Course in Miracles, well, I have a whole ton of things I read, but, and it was like, okay, well, look at the flower and take away the name of it. You know, if you take away all the names, what is it? Well, it has no name. You got to sit there for a couple of hours and go, okay, well, what we went to that flower. We said, that's a rose, but no, it's not a rose. It actually is a miracle. Everything is a miracle around us, but we have to label it so then we can stop pondering. So we start pondering a little more and start realizing that even I don't really have a name. I'm just something, you know. We all just something. We get to that place.
I don't know what it is. I just know that it's beautiful.
Thank you. You know, and it's so
intriguing. It's
magical. We have to. Even with the people that we are confused by. Like, I've been very confused with this election, and that's what saved me from. I have been. I'm like, oh, but I'm sure something will come out of it. But we addicted to labeling.
Something that I've learned about, just as a little segue about the election thing, something that I'm seeing across the board as I continue to ask questions publicly and privately, is really this election came down. I mean, it might have been stolen. Let me just say that it's a lot of good reason to believe that this election was stolen. However, if it is genuine, the large consensus across the board. Hey, Lady Sparkle. Hey, Boo. The large and I meant to say hello to my panel member, Royce Reed. Y'all know we have tea on top of tea tomorrow night, so be in the building. This election comes largely down to the fact that people just broke as fuck. And people just felt like things fell apart economically under Joe and Kamala's version of America. And they want anybody but them because they need the cost of living to go the fuck down. They needed to go the fuck down. So this election just really came down to people not being able to afford basic amenities under Joe's administration. And because Kamala is adjacent, obviously, to that administration, that is a baggage she had to carry into attempting to run for president. And because everybody knows that Trump is money hungry, he's a businessman, etc., and people are just desperate. People were willing to just pick anybody, but anybody who was Joe affiliate. So it really seems that largely people voted because they just want to be able to afford life again. And they feel for whatever reason that a president who has been bankrupt several times and who is a convicted felon can in fact do that. So
yeah, I think like the caller said, it's a spell. It's a spell that Todd set up. I'm joking. It's definitely a spell because There's no way in the world. For me, the thing too is that if you voted for her, I remember I was talking to people. I said, well, listen, they missed this part in the conversation. I have concerns too. But I still voted for her because I feel like I was able to say that I can never vote for somebody who said I want to sit in office for 20 years. Never.
Right.
I even if it was a Democrat that said I wouldn't vote for them either. I'm like, no, I need the yin yang of the life. I don't need just somebody just sitting there and so that's the thing for me. I have concerns too, but
for sure.
You know what? Listen, the people on the cutting edge will be just fine. Everybody else who's confused will learn a lesson.
Did y'all hear that apparently Trump was taken to the emergency room yesterday or day before yesterday? Apparently there was word that he had been hospitalized, that he had also some type of a damn medical scare, girl. Maybe, I don't know whether him and TD Jake smelt the same air or whatever it was, but I just found it interesting that, word on the curb was that he was rushed to the ER. And what's interesting about that is that there's been a lot of spiritualists online who've been saying that Trump is going to DIE.
Right.
There definitely was. I counted one day. I was supposed to mention that to you too. I counted myself literally 7 different readers that literally said that this man was going to he was going to disappear before he even served a full year. And I said, well, whatever is designed to be designed, that does not negate, because people are, for those people that are like, okay, anybody but him, I'm like, okay, that doesn't eliminate the problem. Vance is still a problem, so, we just have to sit back, be proactive, individually and collectively, as we've, discussed before. But we really have to sit back and be observant. Don't be so quick to want to celebrate in that possibility, because it does not resolve the overall issue, or what we have come into face. Because the reality is that this turnout was inevitable on some degree. And we can discuss that a little further. We can discuss for not trying to change the subject, but because I can go on and on about that. But I just wanted to touch on what sis was saying about just being open. It is important, and I'm glad that you've had that self-awareness and you've been putting it into play. I for some reason, no matter how hurt I've been, now I am very, very certain about setting up boundaries. I am very particular to who has access to me. But I've never, no matter how hurt I've been, I've never closed myself off to the possibility of having human contact and love. For me, my walk is embracing that, the fact that the people that I may have felt I should have received the love from are not necessarily the people that I needed to receive the love from. And that goes back to what I was saying about the wants versus the need. It does not always feel good when the expectation are people that you have had years of relationship with, whether that's family, friend, even co-workers. It doesn't feel good when you have had years invested in people and you don't get a return on your investment. But it's liking to me of understanding that there's nothing purer than receiving love from someone that is not familiar with you. It's a different vibe, energy, and a blessing overall to receive loves from people that don't have close proximity to you. It just feels so much better. And you would just never think, well, for me, I would have never thought that a simple hello and a smile from a stranger would brighten up my day more than a hello from, let's say, hypothetically, my children. Like it, but it does, because these people don't know me. That stranger hasn't gotten anything from me. You know, that it just feels so much more genuine and fulfilling for me. And so because of that, I'm learning to embrace the love from those that don't owe me anything. Because I feel like those that, like, I'm starting to, we had this conversation. I'm really starting to see, like, the people that you expect things from, their intentions may not necessarily, if you do get what you expect, it may not necessarily be genuine. It may be more performative because it's something that's expected versus just literally being genuine. And I want genuine people in my life. So if I have to receive it from a stranger to make me feel the good vibes and energy, I embrace that shit wholeheartedly. Now, granted, like she was saying about just how people can be like not having trust. I've learned to trust people just for who the fuck they show me they are. I see beyond the smoke and mirrors. I'm glad you spoke on discernment. Like, I learned to look beyond it. And when I say trust, I trust you. If your energy tells me you a fucking snake, I'ma believe that shit. And I'm gonna handle you accordingly. There's no reason for me there's no reason for me to doubt my trust. Though my trust is really my intuition. And I think a lot of times we doubt ourselves. And I think that's something that empaths we need to work on too. We kind of straddle the fence with doubt versus hope. And I think that that's something internally that we have, like, internally we have to work on, like knowing the difference between doubting your intuition and being hopeful. Because it does not serve us to straddle that fence. We get injured, even though it's a natural common thing for us to get injured, but we get injured a lot because we straddle that fence. And it's not necessary to straddle the fence. Sometimes we're only supposed to say a word and not spend our lifetime's energy pouring into people and trying to help people. That's not always our purpose.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that. I do think it's easy when you're more familiar with a love it doesn't have the same like pizzazz, and I guess that happens naturally just when it comes to pattern and routine, because even married couples have to like keep things spicy because you can fall into just being complacent, even if it is like the same love, but because it's familiar and it's routine, and your brain kind of gets into this mechanical cycle with it, it kind of removes the impact. But I do think it's important to recognize that the love that's like routine to us, because it can be performative on both aspects, right? Like the kindness of a stranger can be performative as well. There are a lot of people who seek to feel good about themselves, which is completely egotistical, rather than just like being good to other people. Who don't mind being performative in that way as it relates to strangers. There are people in our lives also who we're really familiar with and close to, who who could be performing to your point as well. But I think the stark contrast between like our kids, our family, our friends versus like the kindness in strangers is that you may be able to get a high out of that stranger. You may be able to get a door, someone open a door for you, someone to let you over in traffic. But what you could get from that love at home that feels super familiar, that you probably can't get from the stranger, is an actual sacrifice. Like the people that's directly in your life are more likely to be able to give you that lung you need, that blood transfusion, the loan to get your lights, turned on, may be more inclined to make a substantive sacrifice for you. versus the person who's just letting you over in traffic, who that's probably to the extent of their generosity. They ain't about to give you no money. They ain't about to take you in. If something happens, they ain't about to, that's, as long as it's small, that stranger probably don't mind being as kind need to be. So I think the love can go both ways. I think that the fakeness and the performativeness also can go both ways. But all in all, I think, yes, it's about us just experiencing love in all of its forms. And I can definitely understand there's a uniqueness to to a stranger's love, because it is so unfamiliar, right? Like, this person has no objective reason to do what they're doing for you, and yet they are. I had just acknowledged this on my birthday when I said that a conscious crew member sent me birthday money 40 minutes after my birthday was officially a thing, 40 minutes after the clock struck 12. And I just remember sitting there like, my God, somebody who I've never crossed paths with, aside from digitally, was so thoughtful and mindful and helped me in a spirit. And that just was incredible to me. And then, of course, like, the rollout just happened from, a bunch of the conscious crew members who were sending me emails and writing under posts and Instagram and sending me Cash Apps and PayPal and showing their love in all type of various ways. And I hadn't even heard from the people, to your point, rumors, who know me physically yet. And yet, the first person I heard birthday from was, like you said, a perfect stranger. So it's powerful, and it's interesting. And I think all of our prayers need to be, God, like, keep me safe. And what I mean by keep me safe is like, keep the innocent, curious, gleefully, joyfully excited, innocent little kid in me alive. Because life is going to be fucked up at times. It's going to be unfair. It's going to be demonstrative. It's going to be abusive. It's going to be violent. It's going to be the most. Somehow, some way, through all of the hurt that's ahead, the continual breakups that are ahead, the continual letdowns that are ahead, just keep the part of me, and I think you hinted to that, Rumus, the part of us that is hopeful, the part of us that's open, the part of us that's just happy to be here. Like, keep that safe, God.
That's exactly what I'm speaking of. Mm-hmm. Because I've stated on here plenty of times how the dark energy I feel is so prevalent, and I'm so grateful that I have not allowed it to make me jaded in a way. Like, I do seclude myself, but I've actually been getting out more. I went out today, took my kids, did some traveling, came back, just was out in the earth, and what I felt was so like it just helped me release, like, and I just felt so good. And I wasn't looking around for anyone to. And the irony is, there was a young lady. She walked past me, and I don't know what challenges she's facing on a mental level, but she was having some type of, I don't want to say breakdown. She was just going through something, and she was talking, and she was just, I don't know what she was, I know what she was saying, but I don't know what she was talking about. And that could have been a setback for me personally, because like I said, I have been feeling this dark energy. That could have been, setback to like reinforce all that I have been feeling, but I did not allow. And I looked at her and I just smiled. Like, I didn't say nothing. I just gave her the warmest smile I could give. And I just went on about my day. And I said, okay, that was something good that I contributed to a stranger, and I know she received it. You know, we locked eyes. She stopped in her ramble. We locked eyes. That made me feel so good, like, because I could have, and within myself, I could have let my ego saw that as something negative and had a a negative reaction that could have made me turn. Like, let me go back in the house. I told you ain't nothing, but but I didn't do that, and the day felt better because of that exchange, a non-verbal exchange, but it just felt so much better, and that is something that I look forward to now embracing, because honestly, with all, like you said, all that we experience and we're going to experience in our day to day, I do feel like we need, like, there's no feeling about it. I know we need to feel and embrace the love from human beings, from one another. We need that. That goes back to what you were stating earlier about the real essence and importance of life. And I know we lacked it because we are distracted by things that really don't matter.
Absolutely.
And I am so grateful for these type of moments where we do, no matter what the topic is, where we can get down to this depth,
to the heart.
It's important. Yes, it's important. It's and I think that some people may feel like it's redundant, but I think that it needs to be, just like we see the same damn commercials over and over again, listen to the same song. We need to have repetitive conversations of these depths because we need to be reminded constantly. Everything else, like I said, we're being programmed. So now let's program what the importance of life truly is. We need to just keep having these conversations. And I'm glad, like, Conscious, I can't never ever tell you how much and show you how much I'm appreciative. Like, I don't give a damn how nobody think I can never, like, it is so. You don't understand. I'm gonna try not to get emotional because I do get emotional behind this. Like, we just don't have enough of this. We don't, and we need it to infinity and beyond. We really do.
Yeah, and we're gonna have it. If we don't have it nowhere else, y'all can count on the Conscious Kingdom, baby, to always create that space where we can come full circle, we can make the connection, we can remind ourselves. Because like you said, this stuff is important for the people who find this content, but it's also important for us too, because I think we all need that reminder. And I think these conversations are going to be front and center because of the next 4 years that we're going into. We're going to be seeing a lot of the opposite of what we're talking about here. So it's going to be even more of an incentive for us to prioritize our self-love, the love for each other, making sure that we're uplifting each other, making sure that we are tethering ourselves together, and that we're banding together in a time that's going to get really thick, because we're going through some very powerful birthing pains right now collectively, and it's going to get far worse before it gets better. Just like bringing in new life always is accompanied by blood and gore, screaming and yelling and tussling and, the thundering and lightning of it all. And then new life is here. So I think the takeaway today with Khaled is, first and foremost, be one of your own truth, and find the balance between your material ambition and being your authentic self. There is a way to have both lanes, and I would even say, like be present in one a little bit more than the other, which is your authentic self. Shout out to my baby mother Lioness for the old nasty child support check. Red Nation, shout out to Red Nation, love you so much. But I think there's also some lessons out of Mr. El Monte. He has just as much work to do. Like relying on his looks, exploiting and objectifying individuals, reducing them to just an opportunity. This dude is going to have a very, very, people like him have a very bitter end. And it's a shame because someone said in the chat that he's like 45 and Khaled is like 26. And for this to be the way that he's still living his fucking life, it's a shame and it's a scandal. But you know, the Almontes are also a byproduct of the superficiality of society.
Mm-hmm.
Because we lead by sex and attraction, etc., it allows people that we pedestalize for all the wrong reasons to be able to do all the wrong things to other people. And so you dismantle the Almontes of the world by reprioritizing what's really right and supporting people who are well in principle, no matter how fine they not, etc. None of those things should go into who we make leaders out of, who we make millionaires out of. We should be supporting people who are good and well in their minds, who have an incentive to not only better themselves, but to better the people around them, to better human beings in general. Because the more that we have superficial values, like the more that we're going to be participating in our own downfall unbeknownst to us. And it's going to be interesting to see what Khaled does kind of from this point forward now. But I wonder if he's over there super relieved. You know, it's like, woo, okay, like, yeah, I didn't want this to be public, but it's kind of a weight off my shoulder. Glad the shit is just out there now. So now this is a part of my life I ain't got to worry about. Like, if anybody else come out and be like, hey, Khaled sucked my dick, that's not going to shock the fucking world. Okay?
Right.
Because, hey, I love dick and ass. Any last words for you, starting with you, Arumas?
No, just thank you. Don't forget to lay your offering at the throne of the King. Like and share this video. And just, remember always, if we humanize each other, consider each other, love each other, we'll always do better by each other. That ultimately is us doing better by ourselves. I love you, Conscious.
And Romers, I was gonna tell the people that we might be coming back next week to get into some Shamar.
Yes, I've been pulling the clips. I've been gathering all the information because it's still on. It's just more and more coming out every 2 to 3 hours, and so I'm just getting that together. But yeah, we'll be discussing that real soon.
Okay, y'all. Well, thank you, Romers. I love you, but I'm gonna call you tonight too.
All right, boom.
All right, babe.
Good night.
Good night. What's going on, Leroy? I did not say your name wrong. I never say your name, Roy. Trumper. Leroy is our residential Trumper, you guys. Male. Any parting words, boo, before we wrap up?
Yeah, first of all, I love this conversation. Like the caller was saying, it went from one thing to the next, but we need more of these on YouTube. And actually, this is how I'm actually engaging with YouTube now. I'm not really getting drawn into the, who's exposing who or what. I just need to have these kind of conversations. That's why you'll see me pop up mostly in these kind of conversations. But you said about, the value that people put on the people like Hugo. I think it's true. I found myself being trained when I was younger to I was told, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to like. And when I got older, I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make me feel good. Why am I supporting and following different social media accounts, different things where people are basically promoting themselves with no humanity there? There's nothing there. So I had to check myself and say, you know what, maybe this is not right. If a large group of people in your family and friends tell you this is what you're supposed to do, you know what, they may be well-intentioned, but you need to step back and go, what do I want on my social media? What do I want to support? What do I want to engage with on an energetic level? What is it that I want to do going forward? And also I would say too, after, not to make it about the election, but after the election, what I found, Conscious, is that people are having conversations like this more. For such a long time, for years, it's about who's sleeping with who's gay in Hollywood, what's going on. And now people are like, okay, what are you afraid about? What's going on? I personally have found myself in conversations with people of all ages recently after this election, which I found wonderful. It had nothing to do with anything else, but just about making sure that the communities that we live in was feeling, safer, and expressing concerns, stuff like this. So I've been enjoying that through Zoom and and in person and stuff. So it's gotten me out. So in a way, this kind of disaster has been a positive thing. You know, it's been because I don't feel afraid. I feel like I'm connected more to people. So that's what I would offer to this conversation. But you know what? Like I said, thank you.
Thank you, boo.
This has been wonderful. And then, you know, I get a chance to show different, or at least a different way over here than I normally do, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here, love. You're always a blessing to the panel. Please continue to bless us with your presence, you know, forevermore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Blessings to you too. Thank you.
You too, boo.
Okay.
That was our mail, y'all. Such lovely energy from Rumors and Mail. And shout out to Dr. Larry Reed. I'm probably going to carve that out and segment it out as an individual upload. So be looking out for that, you guys. Well, this concludes our discussion. Welcome to the family, Khaled. And fuck you, Hugo. Khaled, file your police report on that ninja and lock his ass up, okay? Especially if he in fact broke into your damn home, okay? Give him that everlasting work. You guys already know what you guys need to do on the way out. Please thumbs up this video. Thumbing up helps with YouTube's algorithm. It helps YouTube to promote it, get notifications out. So please run those thumbs up. If you didn't on the way in, do it on the way out. Also, check out my Bishop TD Jakes breaking news video that I did prior to this live stream here. Also, if you're new here, subscribe, share. We do all of this stuff. Everybody is welcome over here. This is a free-flowing platform. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. We'll be in the building next week. We got hot topics. I'll probably be going live at some point early in the day to do a hot topics with you guys. Then we have tea on top of tea tomorrow night. Only your favorites. Royce Reeves, who was in the comment section. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. Starting the pot with Jew. And of course, Nosy Hole Live, where the Messy reside. Now, Messy, I was about to say a Messy Hole Live. Nosy, her channel, something happened with her channel, but she won't be able to go live for 2 weeks, you guys. So if you guys are wondering, please go and subscribe to her Twitch and to her Rumble, okay? Follow me on Instagram and check out my stories. I also post a link at some point on my community wall. You guys can find her on Twitch and Rumble at, let me see. I think it's the same way on Twitch. Yeah, Twitch, Nosy Hole Live, Celeb News, and on Rumble, Nosy Hole Live, Celebrity News, okay? So Twitch and Rumble, because she's going to continue to go live stream there. Y'all know YouTube is getting real crazy with the censory, girl. They're just doing the damn most. But we'll all be in the building, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night right here on the platform. I love you all. You guys can also show some love to the Cash App and to the PayPal, which is in the description box below. I love you guys a long time, and I will see you guys later. Bye.